Dark greetings, Ooh, don't like
what?
That.
I know, it's weird.
Switched.
I was about to say, like, I don't like this. It's weird.
Dark greetings, everybody.
Right, dark greetings.
We're back. I've got my shitty cold one.
Oh, nice. I do not. I mean, I have some fizzy water.
There you
Spicy
go.
Water.
Spicy. But we're back to talk about episodes 13 through 15 of Vinland Saga.
We sure are.
Which, man, oh man, there were some happenings.
Yeah, I gotta cast my mind back. This is what happens when I don't watch it the same day we talk about it.
See, I just watched it, and my mind is still, like, trying to piece things together. Or, like, trying to keep everything straight. But we left off on kind of a serious cliffhanger.
Did we? Oh, yeah. I had to the last episode. Right. Because they were, like, being ambushed by somebody we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Somebody who is Welsh. So, where do I want to start is the question. Because at the beginning of episode 13, I was very confused, but that got cleared up.
Yeah, my first comment was just, who's this guy?
I thought it was the same, like, slave boy that Leif mistook for Thorfinn for a second, but I was not sure.
Yes. There's a new intro.
I know, and it's not nearly as good.
I like it, but...
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's just, it doesn't hit the same.
I was so sad. I was like, you couldn't have kept it a little longer than that? That was really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So disappointing.
Okay, cool. So you clocked that too.
I was very sad.
I wasn't the only one.
No.
But I knew we hadn't seen the last of Floki.
No.
He
Impossible.
seems to... I wonder how many other people have the king's ear in the way that he does.
I wouldn't think it's common, because they would,
he seems like he's very important, even, like, among other commanders.
Makes sense. He's a big guy. That seems to be all that really matters.
Yeah. Although I will say the king... Well, let's go through my feelings at the time. Because what I wrote down was that the king must be pissed that they lost Canute.
Yeah, he did. I believe he said something at that point along the lines of, like, he's my son and I, like, won him back or something.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was verbatim, my beloved son.
Okay, I thought it was something sort of affectionate. But again, I can't cast my mind back to yesterday.
I love that for you. When we cut back to Team Askeladd, as I think we decided to call it last time, when they're trying to negotiate with this group of Welsh soldiers whose territory they're trying to enter / cross, I thought it was very funny that he tried to make Canute speak publicly.
Like, how do you think that was gonna go? There's no way. Like, he pretty much has not heard the guy talk at all.
No, not even a little bit.
Except for when he wanted that bird, the hawk. That's it.
But Askeladd really does kind of have a point. Like, Canute has a lot of maturing to do.
Yeah, but, as we said before, it's not his fault. He just has...
It's not his fault. He's a pampered little rich boy.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't really have much choice. Although it is nice that we finally get the answer to the cliffhanger at the end of the previous episode of, oh, it's Welsh people. That's who's attacking.
But also, what has this boy seen? They seem to imply that the prince has seen some fucked up shit.
Oh, I mean, I bet.
Which, yeah, I mean, having read Hamlet doesn't surprise me. Culture.
Sure.
But, And Ragnar is just incredibly protective of him.
Yeah, I get the sense that, like, I mean, not to jump ahead, like, his dad does not care about him. And so, like, Ragnar
Or
has
like
been
only
sort of
cares
his,
about him as an heir, not
yeah,
as like a person.
yeah. So Ragnar has been like the father figure in his life and like sees
Yeah,
him like
that
a son.
I would say that's very evident from the way they both act.
Yep.
I'm looking back at my notes because Askeladd says like, "Oh, are we going to tell like I don't want to have to tell them about the plan like when he's going to
Mhm.
go negotiate with the leader of the Welsh soldiers." And at the time, I was like, "What is the plan?" He's a very secretive man.
Yes.
He has a lot of contingencies.
You're not gonna bring it up. You're gonna make me bring it up and look like the child. There, there's a
Yes.
there's a character named Asser.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
You did it. His name is literally Asser.
Incredible.
They say it multiple times. It's the guy who's like in charge of the Welsh people that were like attacking them.
Oh, the way that just didn't register for me at all.
I was giggling like every single time they said it because it's so silly.
I mean, sure, why not?
I am immature.
I don't necessarily disagree with Thorfinn's appraisal, shall we say, of Prince Canute. He is kind of pathetic, at least in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, he doesn't get much control over his life and to get to be exposed to things, but he also has some choice in his behaviors, and he's not making great choices.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's doing ideal.
Inappropriate.
Oh, rude.
Thanks.
There you go. But I'm interested in the relationship between Bjorn and Askeladd because they seem incredibly close, but then Bjorn kind of gives us the reveal that he doesn't really know that much about Askeladd. Like, he didn't even know that he could speak Welsh.
Well, but it also, yeah, it seems like Askeladd was keeping
It
that sort of
tracks
thing
for
under wraps.
Askeladd's character, obviously.
Yeah.
But I figured
Yeah.
he would have somebody who knew more than 3 things about him, but I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, no, I think he was hiding some of those things intentionally, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, because we have the big reveal that Askeladd is not only also Welsh and Danish, he is of Welsh nobility.
Yeah. And he's a spy, apparently, for the Welsh.
Sorry, my 4-legged son is tearing through the fucking apartment for reasons unknown.
That seems pretty normal.
It is pretty normal. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
Zoomies.
Zoomies indeed. Yeah, but oh boy, he's a spy. Yikes.
Which, do you think he really is, or do you think he's just saying that?
And here's the thing, the way they've written him, we'll never fucking know until we absolutely have to.
Happens. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to say because, like, by him saying that, he gets passage through Wales.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
big reveal that, 1, shout out to Thors for the history lesson. Thank you.
mm-hmm.
And 2, that Askeladd was in fact the boy in the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. So like, oh, that makes sense.
And he had, yeah, and again, I don't know if he's actually a spy or not, but if he is, he has big moves planned.
Yes. Yes,
planning to install Prince Canute as the King of Denmark so he can whisper into his ear and grant Wales a non-aggression treaty, which they want because it's been broken multiple times by the Vikings.
And it's interesting, though, that he has an older brother. Like, I would have thought that it wasn't even a question who got to be king.
Well, we get to that later, that there's kind of, that there are camps of people who want different brothers to inherit the throne.
But I mean, but even up to this point, they keep talking about how, like, how is he supposed to rule, or how is he supposed to do that? And it's like, do you think your brother's gonna die? Or like,
Maybe.
so it just seems like it's maybe not like as automatic set in stone as we often understand it to be.
Yeah, maybe. Fucking whoever calls Ragnar Conehead, that made me laugh. It was kind of mean, but
Happens a few times.
yeah, it does. I liked that Thorfinn finally kind of broke Prince Canute. Finally got a rise out of him.
It is enjoyable because man, does he go off. And it was kind of, I really liked.
Doesn't have the worst rationale.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That I once he actually talks about his reasoning, it's like I feel like it doesn't fully excuse some of the behavior, like cowering behind Ragnar, but it explains things, and it's not a
definitely explains why he's as quiet as he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't like excuse everything else about him being kind of as childish as he is, but
yeah,
I can understand when your words potentially carry that much weight.
Yeah,
You're gonna be very careful about what you say.
Yeah, nobody listened to me. Stop it.
And also, again, he's 17.
Yeah, it must be a hard way to live. Like, you feel like you can't say anything ever because people could take it the wrong way, or like.
Yeah, like, that's a child.
Poor kid. Yeah. Although I just love how Thorfinn is just not taking any of his shit. Like, everybody else is so like deferring to him and all that, and he's just like, no, fuck you, dude.
Absolutely fucking not.
It's great.
And I wrote this down. This kind of proves correct. I don't know if going through enemy territory is a great move here.
I mean, it's a trade-off because they get through much more quickly. Is it worth the risk?
Did we skip over any of your notes for this episode?
No. The last one was about Thorfinn not taking his shit. By the way, we don't see a ton of Thorfinn in these 3 episodes.
We really don't, which I was kind of surprised by, but I also I like having a sort of ensemble.
Yeah.
Rather than just following one singular person.
Yeah.
But
so that's episode 14 then.
Episode 14. So I was kind of confused. Yeah, this one started out again ever so slightly confusing, starting off with a character that we haven't actually met before.
Yes. So who is Anne, right? That was her name?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what my note says.
And this is revealed later, but I was like, what's she hiding?
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed sketchy.
Mm-hmm. I loved this one scene with, I believe the priest's name is like Willibald or something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But with his one convert that he's got interested in like the Christian concept of love.
Yeah, it's nice.
And like him trying to figure out what exactly that is, because there doesn't seem to be a word for that concept in Norse. Yeah.
Again, because it's just everybody has the same feelings. It's just we label them and conceptualize them differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually thinking about this, that it's not just interesting to think about the fact that they didn't have a word or even a conceptualization of love, but it's also interesting that they're bringing it into this show. Or
yes.
Like, I feel like there's got to be some sort of significance to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I mean, I like everything. A lot of the only way I can think to put it is the quote unquote like nuts and bolts of the story is so violent that I think there has to be something to kind of counterbalance that. Otherwise, like, what are we here for necessarily?
Well, I mean, to me, it feels like they're headed towards something because it's come up more than once.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just kind of wondering what that's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I have ideas, but nothing.
I mean,
that I
would
feel
you like to share
comfortable.
with
Not
the
really.
class? You have become de facto stream leader because I'm de facto pod leader.
No, I don't. I feel like it's headed generally toward like some sort of romance for Thorfinn.
You think?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it.
No, but now I'm so interested. What makes you think that though?
I don't know, because he's our main character, I guess, and he's been so like starved for love for
He really is
so many
so
years.
closed off.
Yeah, like I feel like it would be a powerful kind of storyline if he meets somebody that is
Well,
able to
especially
kind of
because I
break
also
his
think
heart.
that might mirror. We haven't seen very much of Thor's background, but I have a
Yeah.
sneaking suspicion that if there were to be a romance arc for Thorfinn, that it might mirror his dad's journey through life because
Mhm.
he seemed like a dick right after what's her face
Ilva.
Ilva was born.
Yeah, which Thorfinn is kind of a dick right now. So,
Yeah, Thorfinn, like, I
and he kills
understand
everybody.
why he is the way he is.
Yeah,
Like, I can't say that I would be doing much better, but yeah, Thorfinn is kind of a dick.
yeah. No, so he seems to be in a lot of ways like his dad was. I mean, he's still kind of smaller, but I mean, he's scary,
Oh
much
yeah,
like Norse
100%.
was. Yeah, so he's got to find the equivalent of his mother. That's kind of and yeah, it sounds bad, but you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly. Like, I
Kind
know
of
exactly what
person.
you mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Where am I?
where were we?
By the way, did those two brothers have their own special handshake, or did I imagine that?
They did. That was delightful.
I was like, why does this say they have a special handshake? Handshake. Oh, right.
Because they've got each other's back in battle.
No, it's so cute.
And also, like, I think it's, like, interesting that that was their conceptual, like, putting an actual, like, more, or at least for them, tangible thing to, like, the concept.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like, of course they would, because, like, you know, the Viking culture is so steeped in, like, battle
Yeah.
as such, like, it's such an important thing.
Yeah, which it seems like the way they described it, like, clearly they do love each other. I mean, they're brothers, and they.
Mm-hmm.
But the priest is like, nope, that ain't it.
Which was a little rude.
It's like, it's a little narrow minded, my dude, but okay.
Just a touch.
Love looks different in different, like, relationships.
It does.
But I think he was talking about more like the religious, like, love of God. Was his
Yeah,
kind
or
of, his background.
oh, what are our words from? I can't remember what comm class it is, but it's like agape.
Oh, God-centered love is agape.
And then what are the other ones? I swear to
The
God,
types of love? Like, there's like
yeah.
eros, which is romantic love. I don't remember.
Thanks.
I didn't even notice she was doing things. I'm so used to just sitting here and moving out of the way of her tail. Oh, okay, bye.
But yeah, I guess the priest sort of is looking more for that sort of like agape love of God.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense why he would then say like the brothers. It doesn't fit his definition, but still.
Although, but he does seem to have a moment of appreciation for it where, like, he's like, oh, like, would you have my back in battle or is it different?
Yeah. Yeah, he's really genuinely just trying to understand, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, oh, love, it's limited to specific people then, I guess. Like, you don't just have love for everybody kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm finding the depictions of Christianity in this series very interesting.
That whole, like, giant family. Yeah, nearly everything they say about religion and God is upsetting.
It is. But I can also understand why, for like the peasantry of that time, the promise of something like the Christian heaven would be incredibly compelling.
Yeah, if your life is miserable on planet Earth, you can at least get by if you believe it'll be better
And
after
also,
you.
like, even as a non-Christian, I think some of the commandments are pretty solid rules. Like, don't steal, don't kill.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
good with that.
hmm But it bothers me that he's like, he basically tells his daughter that she's going to go to hell for making funny faces.
Yeah, that was a little much.
And that's the thing. It's like constantly telling the kids they're going to go to hell. It's like they're
And
children.
I felt so bad for Anne. Oh, we got a
Ah.
comment. 4 types of love: familiar, romantic, companionship, and unconditional. I forget what their names are. All right, so we're most of the way there with naming them. I know it's like agape, eros. I don't fucking know the others.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I actually used to talk about them in a different class. I don't remember what it was. What was that class? I have a bunch of classes I used to teach in the past, but have fallen off at some point or another.
Yeah.
What it was.
But talking about like the depictions of Christianity in this series, I'm gonna delve into like my experience with like quote unquote, not like nothing super heavy, but let's call it religious trauma for the sake of putting a name to it. Like I remember being a kid and like I would go to Sunday school and I would like, learn what sinning was, and then having this realization that like, oh fuck, I've sinned so much.
You just did. You said the F word.
But like, do you know what I mean? Did you
Yeah.
have that experience as a person who was raised like vaguely Catholic?
Well, I mean, I went to Catholic school. So I
Okay,
was
exactly. So you get it. But like,
like,
you're a kid
everything we
when
did, they were like, well, now you're going to hell.
and you learn what the concept of sin is, and then you realize how much like you realize how much you've quote unquote sinned even in like, a very short life, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, we have a serious problem on our hands, or at least I remember feeling that way back when I'd still like believed in God and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel for this Anne character so much, where she's like,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be the only person in my family who goes to hell because I stole this ring, which like,
Yeah.
Petty thievery, really not the worst thing in the world, especially going on at this point in history. You are the least of anyone's problems when there are people out there razing villages to the ground.
Yeah, and I feel like the reason they do this and they lay it on so thick is like, oh, they want their kids to behave so that they get to go to heaven. They genuinely believe that. But it's like maybe when they're little, you get them to behave in other ways, and then you save the hell stuff until they're a little older.
Yeah.
Because man, that can really traumatize a kid. This fear
100%.
of hell things.
But and when we get to the point when the Vikings are going to invade one, I like that we spend so much time with these villagers before the Vikings actually get there, because I think like this is a heavy fucking episode and that just adds to that.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do arrive, shout out to Willibald for trying to warn the villagers at least.
Yeah, he paid the price, but that is nice.
He paid the price. And I really truly can see why the Welsh hate the Danes when they're going around doing shit like this.
Yes, I can see it as well. It also seems crazy because they're supposed to be prisoners. And they're like, yeah, let's just go crazy. I mean, I get that in their minds they're just going to kill all the villagers so no one's going to be able to snitch on them, but like,
and that doesn't work out. But
if people like know that this village has been raided and everyone's been killed at the same time that there is a band of Danes going through, like,
I think they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Askeladd can truly be an evil motherfucker.
Yes.
Like, I think this is the most ontologically evil thing we've seen from him.
And not even just like the evilness of what he does, but how like pragmatic he is about it is upsetting.
Yeah.
like, I guess it's better than him being bloodthirsty, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, no, we're gonna kill all these people, including all these children. It's got to be done.
Which kind of just like I think it speaks to like his experience in situations of that caliber, like where like if you're in battle and it's you or the other guy, you have to think about lives that way, as fucked up as that is.
Yeah, I mean, you would definitely get desensitized, but I feel like there should be some hesitation for children.
Yeah.
Those were young kids, and it's not
Those
even
were
like they
young
have.
kids.
It's not even like they have guns where they can make it just like instant, and they just all they have to do is pull a trigger and it's over. They're massacring those children.
No, that was this again probably this is definitely the worst thing we've ever seen Askeladd and the Vikings do.
Yeah, which they all seem cool with it, so that's concerning.
Okay, I mean, wait, hang on. I gotta make sure I have this straight in my head. Are the Vikings? Are those Floki's men or Askeladd's men?
Floki's.
Okay, ignore me.
Okay.
Got a lot of teams to keep straight in my mind.
Yes, Floki has the Vikings, and they go to Askeladd's pirates. They're pirates.
Okay,
and
yeah.
asks them to assassinate Thor's. So that's why we have the
like
and the pirates.
I can see a pirate leader being particularly amoral, even more than the Vikings, for example, because they seem pretty ruthless as well, but maybe they have not that it's better, quote unquote, but they'll, leave the women and children alive and like sell them or whatever, which again, fucked up.
Yeah.
But I can perhaps see the Vikings having rules of combat along those lines in the way that pirates wouldn't.
Yeah, well, and we kind of talked about this in the second or third episode, whenever it was that Thor's got taken down, that like they sort of have a little bit of a sense of a code, and that he acknowledged, like, all right, let's duel. But then clearly they're pirates, and they're like, well, let's kill him anyway, kind of thing.
The honor code seems to be very deeply baked into Viking culture, to the point that even somebody as amoral as a pirate captain can't fully ignore it, even if he does still play dirty.
Yeah, I mean, it does make me wonder too, like, because we don't really know much about Askeladd's past. Like, was there a period where he was part of the Vikings or something?
Yeah, I hope we get more information on him as the series progresses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will.
But yeah, God, this episode is fucking heavy, man. This poor girl.
Yeah, God. Like her parents, and was it like her grandmother or grandfather, and then all her
grandfather, all her siblings. Jesus Christ!
In one go.
Oh,
just like every
bad fam.
Every family member you have, every person you've ever loved,
gone.
It's one of those things where you just like. It seems like I'm laughing. It's just the pure discomfort.
No, I completely get what you mean. This episode was fucking heavy.
Yeah. I felt like I had to explain it because I was talking about terrible things in class today and sort of laughing, and I was like, "You gotta understand, I'm not laughing because I think it's funny." Yeah, it's just.
No, I truly do get what you mean. Do you have any further notes on this? I didn't take a lot of notes on this one because I found myself very locked in while I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like, as heavy as it was, this one was very compelling.
Yeah. My notes on the next one are pretty thin too.
I have more for the next one.
They're silly. They're silly ones.
So the opening of episode 15, I will say the king seems to have, based on the way they draw him, like with all these scars and whatever, he seems to have seen his fair share of battles.
Yeah, that's kind of their thing. They would lead their armies into battle. Why would you trust
that's so nuts that they used to stick the king on the front lines.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like there's succession, right? Like, yeah,
there is succession.
He's got kids, hopefully, sons.
I'm back on my last podcast bullshit, and I'm listening to the Gilles de Rais episodes. Again, it's nuts who they used to put directly in front of a cannon.
Yeah.
Just like, if he dies, he dies. It's fine.
Yeah, no biggie. Yeah.
But, your boy is back.
Yeah, I just have a note that says, "Yay, Thorkel!"
I have a note that says Thorkel in all caps. He really is a troublemaker.
He is a dramatic little bitch, and I love him.
Yeah.
He's just like so bored.
I love how he has no idea what to do with himself as soon as the fighting stops.
Yeah, I love him. He's great.
And this is where I wrote down that not a lot of Thorfinn these episodes. A little more in this third one.
Yeah.
But the past two, not so much.
Yeah, no, he gets to spend some quality time with Ragnar and Canute.
Which I loved that, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm all that surprised that Willibald is having doubts after everything he has witnessed.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like his pursuit of the idea of love is showing some of those cracks, you know? That it's like, what even is this? Why?
Yeah, no, like, and after, particularly after watching the pirates massacre an entire village, and at least to his eyes thus far, no consequences whatsoever, no divine judgment on them.
Yeah. I'm finding myself wanting to know more about his past, because
I am very curious about him as a person as well, because he seemed so like there was that one moment with him where he was talking to those two brothers who were like trying to understand the like Christian concept of like godly love or whatever, where he's just like gets real close and uncomfortable, and I was like, what's your deal, bro?
But he also, in that same part, they ask him if he loves alcohol, and he says that he doesn't particularly like it. He said he doesn't even really like it, and it's like, but why then? And so I want to know, like, what led to
this? I'm finding myself very curious about him as well. But I love this new assertive Canute.
Yeah.
I'm kind of becoming ride or die for his character.
Yeah, Thorfinn somehow seems to like bring up, I don't want to say the best in him, but something better.
Something better. We'll take it.
Yeah.
But now, when we go back to where Thorkel was hanging out, Thorkel and the Welsh know that Team Askeladd is in fact in Wales.
Yeah.
Which, yikes, that's not good for them.
No. Well, unless you're
Thorkel really does just live to fuck shit up, and I respect him for that.
He's fantastic.
My note says, what's the other problem?
The other problem?
Because I think Askeladd refers to having some other problem that remains unnamed.
Oh, yes, he does.
Which I don't think any of the reveals at the end of this episode had anything to do with that. So we still don't know what the other problem is.
I think it's still unnamed, yeah. Yeah. I had a thought and then I lost it.
I like Ponytail Canute.
Oh, hello.
Hey, it's Nema! We're talking about episodes 13 through 15, and you caught us towards the tail end of 15.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have anything to say about those, please let us know. Also, the reverse spoiler policy is still in effect.
Nothing that happens past episode 15.
Nothing that happens past episode 15, please and thank you. But yeah, I like Ponytail Canute.
What, he's like cool and chill.
I don't know. It's a good look for him. Also, little Canute looks like Armin. The poor kid just wanted to fucking cook, bro.
It's really kind of sweet, but like
it's super sweet, and it made me kind of sad.
He just wants to be a dude.
Dudes rock.
Buddies.
Let him be a dude.
Let him be a little guy.
Just let him be a guy. Like, I am liking his character more and more as he, like, opens up to the audience.
Yeah, it's like Thorfinn like broke the seal.
Yeah, and now it's Armin looking ass.
What's funny, like, so right before we started, I am like I've been rewatching Hell's Paradise, and there is a character on there who looks so much like Armin, but if he were demented. And I was going to take a picture. Noted. So I was just thinking about him because I was going to send you a picture and say Armin looking ass, because
as you should.
Yeah.
Thorfinn has those crazy reflexes, bro.
Terrifying. He's
terrifying. And I want to get past the walls that he has up.
Yeah, it's slow going.
It's very slow going. Which, yeah, like I can respect slow burn as a person who has read many, like, 100K word fanfictions in her day.
But what was her name? I thought, what was her name? Hordaland. That's in my notes.
Yeah, I thought she was maybe chipping away at the cracks a little bit.
I was hoping there would be more, to that, where his defenses would come down a little bit with her, but then she's no more her.
I mean, who's to say that we will never return to that encampment?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's just, that was all we got. Just one conversation.
But then several fucking bombshells at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
One, Ragnar, my boy.
Rip.
He didn't deserve that. And the fact that Askeladd fucking ordered it?
Yeah, and like, I know we've talked about how complicated Askeladd is before, but like
sometimes incredibly complicated.
Sometimes he seems like a solid dude, but then
sometimes I kind of hate him, but I'm so compelled by his character.
Yeah, he has a charm.
He does have a charm. But yeah, Askeladd having ordered his death, which again is just furthering his, which kind of makes me think that that like the spy thing might have been serious, because like now he can definitely be like, hey, like whispering in Canute's ear, guiding him where he wants.
Yeah.
But then we have the second bombshell that King Sweyn sent Canute to the front lines so that he would die.
Yeah. He doesn't give a shit about his son.
He does not give a shit about this boy, which, again, is so fucking sad.
It truly is, because he's a nice guy.
He's a sweet boy. He doesn't deserve this. But, what an ending to an episode.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so sad that as Ragnar's dying, he just wants to say goodbye to Canute, and it's like, that's his son.
That is his fucking son.
You let him say goodbye to his son. It is very sad, and especially, like, I don't know, it always bothers me so much when something terrible has happened, but then people don't know it yet. Like, Canute's like, oh, when Ragnar gets back, like, we'll do whatever.
I know, he's gonna be so upset.
Because that's, like, before Thorfinn, like, the only person he talked to.
Which I'm wondering if that's going to push him and Thorfinn closer together.
I feel like it's gotta. Because, who else does he have?
Pretty much nobody at this point. And I can't see him cozying up to Askeladd, especially because Askeladd has been a dick to his face.
Yes.
And, like, made him clearly uncomfortable.
Thorfinn has also been a dick to his face.
Thorfinn has also been a dick to his face, but I'll forgive Thorfinn a little more.
Yeah, but his somehow feels, I don't want to say more justified, but productive.
Yes.
It got him talking.
Yeah, I mean, he did. Did we skip over any of your notes for this episode? Wait, you guys got to Askeladd's backstory. We got to a little bit of it. We know that he is of both Welsh and Danish blood, and that he said he was a spy within the Danish army for the Welsh so that he could whisper into Prince Canute's ear and so that he could like make sure that Prince Canute ascends the throne, and then he could influence his decisions, which is looking like it probably is the case, seeing as he had Ragnar killed. But I don't trust a word that man says. So,
I mean,
yes,
but him killing Ragnar, it does have the effect of potentially getting him closer to Prince Canute. But the thing that doesn't necessarily like support is that he's doing it on behalf of the Welsh.
This is true.
He could just be doing it for his own selfish gain, or he could be doing it on behalf of the Danes, and like.
My hot take is that he's not in anything for anybody but himself.
Yeah.
So I think he would only, whatever decision he makes is going to be in his own self-interest, whether that's siding with the Welsh or with the Danes.
But it could just be for him. Like, he's like, I don't care about any of y'all. If I'm the king's right-hand man and he only listens to me, what a life I get to live.
This is very true.
So it could be that too.
Much to unpack, much to think about.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to say about this little batch of episodes?
No, just that I enjoyed watching Thorfinn happily eat real food.
I know, he deserves it.
Eating his little bowl of soup.
He was so happy.
Yeah, no, brought me joy.
Soup.
I'm capable of eating soup without saying whoop whoop.
As you should be. Do we have any guesses as to where we're headed?
I mean, obviously we're gonna see Prince Canute's reaction.
And I'm sure he's going to believe whatever Askeladd tells him, because he's unfortunately a very naive and trusting person by nature.
Yeah. So Askeladd's going to be like, oh no, he
was felled by the English.
How could they? It's like, even though he's a Christian, like you would think that they have the, whatever.
I don't know.
At least I think he is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we got to see the fallout from that whole situation, and yeah, he's just going to believe whatever Askeladd says, but then yeah, he's going to have to be more reliant on Thorfinn, because those are the only they were like a trio essentially.
Yeah, there was the only two people he ever fucking spoke to.
Yeah, so now it's just going to be the two of them. Buddy comedy.
They, it's what they deserve, even if it's not what they're going to get.
Yeah, no. This is a show with very little levity. Maybe that's why I like Thorkel so much. Well, one of the reasons.
Yeah, he kind of does bring the only comic relief that you get.
Yeah.
Which, again, love the guy.
I just love his energy. Good energy.
He has incredibly good energy.
Like,
we can't be too picky.
Aside from the fact that his main hobby is murder.
It's fine. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we have these batches of episodes where, like, it gets a little close to, like, slice of life in that, like, not a ton of plot advancing stuff happens. Yeah. You just spend more time with the characters, and then you have boom, boom, boom episodes where a bunch of shit happens.
Yeah. I feel like there wasn't necessarily a lot in these episodes up until the end of 15, and then we start to learn a lot of things, Which
I'm wondering if that's if that's marking like a real pickup.
Yeah, I mean, because I think, there's going to be some like fallout of that.
Absolutely.
With Revelation. Because how is that going to change Askeladd's approach to things, and, knowing that there is this sort of like war brewing essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
we didn't even fucking talk about that. Denmark is about to split apart because some people want Prince Canute to ascend the throne and some people want his brother Harold to ascend the throne, which that's going to be a whole thing.
Which is wild because, like, they can't really know anything about Prince Canute because he doesn't really talk. So The only reason I can imagine them wanting him to be in power is they think he can be manipulated.
They think he can be manipulated, or like, yeah. Yeah.
Because not like they're
Probably
gonna
it.
think like he has no experience in battle, no leadership experience of any kind, doesn't even
Mhm.
talk to people. Like, why would they want him in power over his warrior older brother? Unless they
Yeah,
maybe
although I
hate his
do
brother so much.
yeah, maybe they think his brother's, like, hot-headed and arrogant or, like, that
Yeah,
he'll make rash decisions or something. Like, maybe he's already shown himself to be an unreliable leader,
yeah. And
at
so it's
least
like
to
better
some.
than the lesser of two, not evils, but things we don't want.
Yeah. So, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how it's gonna affect Askeladd's plans, especially because we don't technically know the entirety of his plans.
Yeah, we don't know the entirety of his plans, and also we might wind up meeting Harold.
Yeah, I bet we will. I feel like we have to. If there are like wars
Probably.
being fought in his name.
That tracks. All right, so we will be back next week to talk about episodes 16, 17, 18.
Mhm.
We got anything fun coming up on the network other than regularly scheduled programming?
I don't think so. It's kind of like it's kind of the off season for us in a way.
It kind of is the off season. It's not con season.
It's not con season, and it's not like when we did like parties for Halloween and Christmas. We're
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
in a There's no major holiday that we would do something like that for.
But we got Defenestration Hour tomorrow. I cannot remember what the movie is. Big Dumb Monsters Monday. Regrettable Reviews Tuesday. We're doing Judge Dredd. Uh, more of us on Wednesday, Fighting with Friends, and then back to the stream on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want stuff to watch, we will provide. Next batch has my
Ooh,
favorite episode. Ooh, that's exciting. So make sure you're back here at 8 p.m. next Thursday. See our reaction to that.
yeah. We'll try to guess which one it is.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. We will definitely do that. All right. Thank you everybody for watching.
Awesome.
Hope you tune in again next week and we will see you then. Adios, everybody.